Good life, easy baby. We're back.
Again.
Good life, easy.
This time with a very interesting topic, bro.
Very, very, very interesting.
The one of the biggest divorces
Mm.
gone through right now.
Mm.
The Bill and Melinda Gates divorce, right?
True.
And first, before we get into the topic, I want your hot take. I'll ask you why.
Mm.
Because whereas most of the people consider Bill Gates as a philanthropist,
True.
an inspiration, an entrepreneur, someone they look up to, right? A lot of the nerds, okay?
Correct.
But whereas you
Correct.
consider him to be a reptilian Illuminati
Correct. See,
leader.
as a smart individual, you have to question things in life.
Absolutely.
You can't just agree with everything and anything.
That's right. Before we get into the topic, I want your hot take on this. Let me ask you the questions. What's next for Bill Gates? What do you think this is happening? Why do you think this is happening?
We'll get into that. This is going to be a great. This is a great topic. Firstly, because we can actually break things down as to how everything is getting related to COVID and the vaccine situation. So, firstly, I want to ask you: is that Jeff got divorced last year? Did you think anybody could top that divorce? Especially Bill Gates. Like, Bill Gates is the perfect American.
Yeah.
He's
American
like a
dream.
textbook American. The American dream.
Correct.
A dropout.
Correct.
A genius.
Yes.
Who made billions.
Yes.
And now is helping save the world.
Exactly.
Textbook.
Yeah.
Right?
Classic.
But then, when you think about someone like Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda getting divorced, it's something that I did not expect. Did you expect it?
Not at all, because not only that, they look like a very cute couple.
Yeah.
The way they've come on interviews. Melinda Gates came on the Larry David interview, I think. And the way she spoke about their marriage and the way they give space to each other and understand each other. Then Bill Gates saying on the anniversary that let's hope the next 20 years we're together.
Of course.
So all of that. And then the biggest thing, that Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
That's what I want to
Right.
get to. That's what I want to get to. The names are attached forever.
Yeah, I never expected this to happen.
Not at all.
As you said, they were the textbook
American
textbook
couple.
American couple, textbook American life.
So now that they've come out, and especially during a time when they're stuck in the pandemic, I was just thinking that why would you want to get divorced to Bill Gates, or why Bill Gates would want to get divorced to Melinda Gates? When you've been the richest man in the world for like 30 years, these newbies have just come around the block.
Man's been on top of his
Jeff Bezos
game
just came in
for
line.
most of his life.
Elon Musk just came. Bill Gates has been number one for a minute. So why do you think that this divorce might have happened?
I don't think it's a COVID divorce for sure. Okay.
You don't think so, bro?
You think it's a COVID divorce?
You don't think so that they're in the $110 million
That's
Washington mansion?
Yeah. Don't like COVID divorces happen in smaller houses where you don't have space?
No, I completely
that's what
agree.
I would guess.
I completely agree, but then...
When you literally have
Correct.
acres and acres of land, built property, gardens, lakes and whatnot.
Correct.
You can take the boat and go and read a book.
Yeah, but
have a coffee
but
in the middle of your lake.
I completely agree. Space is not at all an issue with the Gates family.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to understand is that if you need space from your spouse,
you need space a little bit.
if you need space from your spouse, sometimes you need complete space. Think about that.
So you're saying it's a COVID divorce?
I think it's a heavy COVID divorce. Of course, we all know that Bill Gates was specially involved with this Fauci as to the way forward for America. So he's been like, they go to him for advice.
Of course, he is.
He's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man right now.
He's been the man.
Yeah, he's been the man.
Since like 10 years.
But let me tell you one thing, bro. When I think of Melinda Gates, right, I think of somebody who's very ambitious and who's very motivated.
Absolutely.
And who's very aspirational. And I think she's way more motivated and she's way more powerful as a human being than Bill Gates. Because according to me, right, Bill Gates comes across as a thinker.
Yeah.
But when I think of Melinda Gates, I think of her as like a ruler, bro. Just
As
think
a
about
ruler?
it. As a ruler.
Okay. As in, I don't
Who's calling the shots?
Okay.
In the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, according to me, is
in
Melinda
the
Gates.
foundation, definitely. Yeah. That's how it seems.
The foundation is the fucking wedding. The marriage.
Yeah.
It's as good as the marriage.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
according to me, mate,
So you're saying that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was the Cuban link that was holding them the marriage
There
together?
are many more which we will discuss.
All right.
But according to me, bro, if I had to put this across in a very simple way, I'll ask you a question. If you had to select one person that would if Bill or Melinda were to run for president, who do you think would actually win, or who do you think would? Yeah,
Definitely Bill.
Melinda.
Why?
Melinda, because Bill would never run for president.
But you just asked the question if they would run.
Okay, but if in a situation that, you know what I feel now, bro, is that this is some sort of way for presidency. I'm telling you.
Bro, you have gone deep into
I'm
the
telling you.
conspiracies,
I think Melinda Gates is going to run for president.
Heavy.
I'm telling you this. It's a fact.
Nothing is unlikely, bro, in America. There's no doubt about it.
It's a fact.
But yeah, the divorce is a shock. And the fact that it's one of the biggest divorces and the fact that it's Bill and Melinda Gates makes you think that what can be the reason, you know? See, the whole world is chirping about the vaccines, you know. Bill Gates was the first victim of the conspiracies when it came to COVID, right?
Correct.
That he's done something with 5G.
Correct.
He's done something with the vaccines. He's been on the vaccines, pro-vaccine since a long time.
Yes.
He has an agenda.
Yes.
You know, he has an agenda for the educational systems and whatnot.
And then there's also a question that goes around that why does he own like around 232,000 acres of farmland across America? You know, there are a lot of questions attached. There are a lot of questions attached to what he's been up to.
So the pandemic brought Bill Gates in the forefront, right?
In the limelight.
In the limelight for negatives.
Correct.
Right? So his comment section was blown up.
Correct.
By all the conspiracy theorists that you're killing people, you're doing something wrong.
Basically, when you think of population control, you directly link it to Bill Gates.
Exactly, right? So in COVID, we saw that he was the first victim. And when you think about that, right? So you can just brush it off. Like people say, you know, one way is to just brush it off. But when something like this happens, it makes you think that, was there something going on? Is there another reason? You know, is the primary reason something else? Is something going on that is not acceptable by the family?
True.
You know?
True.
Did Bill go too far?
So basically, right, if we had to put it across in such a way that is money the agenda for this divorce, I think it's 100% this.
Money is the agenda?
I think money. I think.
But they both have all the money in the world.
They have all the money, but I think that they both have different point of views in life. According to me, that's why this shit.
That's what's happened right now. That's what I'm telling you. That's what it seems.
Yeah.
Like everyone was like, whoever did not believe in the theories, the conspiracy theories about Bill Gates, and who just shooed it away that no, dude, he can't do that. He's doing good. He's giving money, right? But when a divorce like this happens, you always think that, was there something that he was hiding?
Correct.
Did something come out that was not acceptable by the wife and the family?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because I read a source saying that a close family member, someone came out and gave this statement to those paparazzi magazines, saying that I think Melinda went forward with this, and apparently the entire family was very upset with Bill. Okay, the divorce was going to be finalized and announced in March. Okay, they had booked an island, $135,000 a night.
For what?
For the family.
For what? To announce it?
So once they announce it, there's no media.
Oh.
Media cannot reach them.
Oh, wow. See, that's the life you want to live, bro. I bet they owned the island after they left.
So they rented out
the entire island. This is now our island.
They rented out the entire island for the family. Apparently the settlement with the lawyers was not going through. But Melinda booked the island, went there, took everybody, but did not invite Bill apparently. And apparently the family's really upset with Bill for some reason that nobody
So you
knows.
know, right, bro, basically what I want to also discuss is a great point what you brought up. So as we all know, bro, Bill, a young entrepreneur, a young mogul coming up, met Melinda Gates in Microsoft.
Made being a nerd cool.
Yes, absolutely. Met Melinda Gates at Microsoft. She was a team lead in Microsoft. At some seminar, basically, Melinda Gates was sitting alone and there was a empty seat next to Melinda. So Bill Gates comes through.
So he slid into the conference room.
He slid in, bro. He slid in for his own employees.
He slid in the conference meeting.
Something that I don't encourage, you know. Business and pleasure should always be kept aside. Right? So Bill Gates also has a young slider. told Melinda, let me take you out for dinner, but let me check my schedule. 2 weeks from now. So she turned him down like 3-4 times.
Okay, no boss.
Yeah, no ways it's happening. Then eventually they went out. Everything went well. They started dating and then they got married. Now apparently he used to spend 1 week every year in a beach house in San Diego with his ex-girlfriend.
What?
And Melinda Gates knew about this setting. Yes, bro. It's on the internet.
Wow.
It's a fact. Every year, 1 week at a beach house in San Diego, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a fact. I don't know the location. It might be. He used to spend with his ex-girlfriend. And the wife was fucking away.
Bill ki prem katha.
Bill, bro. So our boy Bill is just a nerd? No. He's a
player.
He's a jock.
But you know, even Warren Buffett had some setting like this where basically his wife shifted from where he stays. I think she went to California and he found another lady. They became intimate.
Lady friends.
And the wife absolutely gave the blessing.
Of course.
That you please, let her take care of you. You guys be together.
Absolutely.
And
so I think this is
happy.
This is what goes down in the billionaire lifestyle or the billionaire world. God knows.
Too much space. This is too much space.
Too much space. So with the whole Bill and Melinda situation, I think money is the agenda because Melinda has apparently hired all of Jeff Bezos's lawyers and Trump's.
All right.
So the best of Trump's lawyers and the best of Jeff Bezos's lawyers are going to apparently fight for 50% of a $146 billion fortune.
All right.
In March 2022.
All right. And apparently the day that divorce was announced to the media, Bill Gates' company transferred $1.8 billion worth of shares to Melinda Gates.
Oh.
And the children are only getting 10 million each.
Oh.
That's what Bill Gates...
10 million?
That's
like
what they're saying.
Stock or like...
whatever,
cash?
stock, cash,
okay,
whatever.
Fair enough.
Because Bill Gates says that money is not going to help you guys out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to do you any good if I give you all my wealth.
Okay.
And plus, remember I told you about the pledge? Warren Buffett and Bill Gates came together. They made a pledge that they're going to donate majority of the wealth before they pass away.
True. To Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yes.
But then what are the billionaires in China saying? What are the billionaires across the world saying? Everyone thinks that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is just a front. Right? Okay. China is very heavy into this. So what is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? They go to every billionaire in the world and they say that, okay, as a humanitarian, as a billionaire, it is your right. It is your right.
Duty. It is a duty.
I think they must be putting it only in such a way that it's your right. You have so much money. And if we have Warren Buffett investing so much money in the foundation to help cure the world or to help eradicate malaria or to cure human poverty, they used to go to China. Apparently, when you say, for example, you're a billionaire in China and I'm from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, I reach out to you. The billionaire has already told the assistant that don't entertain any calls of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. We don't want to put no money in this fucking foundation.
Okay.
You're understanding? So the calls are...
Damn. But I believe that because nobody likes those pestering
Bro, if I'm a fucking billionaire, I might as well start my own foundation.
Absolutely.
No? Why would I fucking put money in your foundation?
Absolutely, bro. And at the end, there were, whatever you say, there were controversies, there were stories behind the foundation. There was this big thing that he was trying to push a certain way of education in America, a certain style of education. That a lot of small towns and cities wanted to change and move ahead, but he pushed the lobby to not do that.
And we all know that he's basically the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now, how much ever you read on the internet, for them, like Africa is just like a testing ground.
Yeah, even India.
Yeah, India and Africa because of malaria, right? They want to eradicate malaria. They want to be known as the family that eradicated malaria.
Yeah.
So they test a lot of
and
vaccines,
clean water.
Man. Clean water.
They make piss into water.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, water also. Everyone should get clean water to drink.
He came on Jimmy Fallon and
did that shit,
made him drink filtered piss, which was actually just water.
Fair enough. Yeah. So now God knows, bro, what's happening. But I think this is...
But one thing, do you agree that if, hypothetically, what we are saying, like putting him out to be the devil, his PR, his branding is beyond good. Because just think about it. His look.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
The way he's perceived in the world, the way he talks.
100%.
Okay? You are mesmerized.
Textbook.
You do think he's a textbook good person. He's trying to do good. He's trying to help the world. His tonality, the way he talks, the way he puts himself out, simple clothes, simple specs, you know? Right?
100%.
He's like, is he the most relatable billionaire?
Bro, I think when you think of billionaire, Devang, let's be realistic. When we were growing up, right? In school, our complete schooling life, when you talked about money, the first person that popped up in your head, even as an Indian, was not Dhirubhai Ambani.
No.
It was not Jeff Bezos. Nobody knew who Jeff Bezos was. Bill Gates has been the GOAT.
Yeah. Bill Gates, since I was like
he's been number one for a long time. I don't think anybody has been number one as long as Bill Gates has. Right? He's been number one.
Yeah.
And these boys have just come in. 5-6 years. Recent.
Yeah. No, Bill Gates 30-35 years.
No, I'm saying Jeff Bezos and all have been topping the charts for 5-6 years. So when it comes to...
They had to wait for the internet boom and all of that.
Correct.
Where Bill Gates made the internet boom.
Correct.
He made the...
Bro, Microsoft.
Computer,
Microsoft, you know. Even Steve Jobs and all just came in. You can say Bill Gates had already set his mark. So he is the textbook billionaire. Yeah. Not only for Americans but for everyone around the world.
Absolutely. Because you've grown up to his stories.
Yes. And you if you don't know Bill Gates, you're dumb. Think about it.
Yeah, you're living under a rock.
You know, it's like saying telling an Indian you don't know who Sachin Tendulkar is. What are you saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
So his PR team and his branding on point.
Impeccable.
On point. Impeccable.
Right? Because I laugh when we even talk about him in a way that he's full of malice. Full of deceit, trying to do harm to the world, trying to do everything for his own profits.
Correct.
Because of how he looks, how he conducts himself.
But you know what they say? Never judge a book by its cover, bro.
Absolutely.
Don't do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't do that, my boy. Don't have that vaccine. I know they've allowed vaccines for us, but don't go for that.
There's another rumor mill that he was very pro India going through the digital revolution because he wanted to develop some softwares and patent some softwares. This is, I'm saying, WhatsApp science.
Oh, bro, it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, India is like a pot of gold, man.
Yeah,
just think about it.
So he wanted to give out, as in, how do you say it? Trademark those softwares.
Trademark, correct. Copyright, trademark, all of that
whatever,
shit.
Yeah.
Patent.
Patent the certain softwares of money transfer and all of that.
Fair enough. But it makes sense because just think about it, 1.3 billion people.
Yeah.
Even if you pulled out 1 rupee from each person or $1 from each person.
And developing.
Yeah.
So that means
billion.
Everyone is entering into the middle class. The middle class is entering into upper middle class. Yeah.
Correct. And we have youth on our side right now.
Exactly.
So makes sense for him to tap into India.
Yeah. So,
but I think Jeff has made some waves in India right now. I think Amazon has come in and just disrupted everything.
Bro, what are you talking about? Just a few years ago, I remember when Amazon had started, there was only eBay first. And eBay is like the black market of online.
eBay was
shut down in India.
eBay was like a scam, man.
Yeah, it's the black market. It's literally the grey market. We had grey Hirapan and all. That was eBay for us, bro.
Man, true.
And when Amazon came in, there was Flipkart already there, and Amazon only started with like just books and all of that. And I'm not talking about the early days of American Amazon. I'm talking about when it just launched. Like 8, 10 years ago.
Only eBay was their competition.
Yeah, and then Jeff Bezos came to India, and the first year he decided to pump in $2 billion for marketing. Yeah, because he saw the value.
Deserved, yeah.
He saw the value in India.
Of course.
And
so, yeah.
Majority of your online orders come from Amazon, right? You buy anything, fitness ho ya kuch bhi ho. Any utility product from Amazon.
Correct. True that. So, Jeff Bezos tapped into tapped into India way better than I think Bill Gates did.
Bill Gates to Microsoft to
everywhere.
Microsoft
True that. True. Very, very different industries only, I would say. E-commerce against like a IT giant.
Was the Jeff Bezos divorce big or the Bill Gates?
Bro, to be honest with you, like I didn't think that anything will get bigger than the Jeff Bezos divorce.
Yeah.
But apparently this one is going to be the biggest because...
No prenup also, by
there's no prenup and such a dumb move by Bill Gates because...
But early days.
No, what early days? What do you mean early days? You have a Microsoft with you and you get married to an employee of Microsoft. You dummy. Sign a prenup. Sign a prenup, man.
But 27 years ago, bro.
Doesn't matter, bro. 27 or 28, bro. That's one. That was an L, bro. Like a loss. That was that. I think The first loss that was handed to Bill Gates was this whole COVID controversy.
Do you think
this is the second loss?
Do you think Bill Gates is like, yeah, I don't care about prenup, I don't care about money. You think he's at that level right now?
Bro, to be honest with you,
I have 100 billion or I have 50 billion, I don't care. You think he's at that level?
100%.
Yeah, right?
100%, but it'll definitely bite.
Because eventually you will be there, right?
Yeah, true. So, why this is going to be bigger than the whole Jeff Bezos divorce is apparently because it's $146 billion. Okay, so this is apparently going to be a 50-50 split. Woo. And Melinda Gates will directly top up number 2 on the Forbes list when it comes to the richest women in the world, only behind the L'Oreal owner.
All right.
So she is basically going to eclipse everyone. Even Jeff Bezos' wife, who's apparently sitting on a good 40 billion or 35 billion. And this lady is apparently going to sit on 70-80 billion, bro.
All right.
So I don't think anybody's stopping this divorce after this because our boy Elon is chilling. If there was anybody who could top this was Elon, but Elon doesn't give a fuck.
See, because 2020 was bad for billionaires, right?
Correct.
First Jeff Bezos went, then Dr. Dre, Kanye West, all billionaire divorces.
True.
Right?
True.
So
there's a very
yeah, but now this can't be topped. There's no way.
So there's a very weird pattern when it comes to the Forbes billionaires. I was just trying to understand why are billionaires getting divorced. So what they were saying is that, you know, top 10 billionaires that are on the Forbes list have very, very, very good marriages. 25 years plus. Like, for example, Carlos Slim.
Yeah.
Carlos Slim was the person who, somebody can overtake Bill Gates. Who is Carlos Slim?
Mukesh Ambani.
You know? But Carlos Slim also had a 22-year marriage until his wife passed away. Okay. So, top 10 of all the billionaires on the Forbes list have good marriages. After that, all failed marriages.
Yeah?
40% of the billionaires on the Forbes list have fucked up marriages.
But I think outside of India, the divorce rates are literally like 50-60%.
Yeah, it's very high.
It's very high. Like in America, when you get married, there is 50% chance that you'll get divorced.
No, I completely understand. But then when you think of grey divorces, what are grey divorces? Grey divorces are when the couple is aged above 50. So you start questioning things, right? Say for example, Jeff Bezos, 50 plus. Why do you need to get divorced when you're 50 plus?
Yeah.
Why do you need to get divorced? Like for Bill and Melinda, I think there's a 9-year age gap, if I'm not mistaken, 56 compared to 65 or something. At this point, the only thing that a person needs at this age is companionship.
Yes.
Right? You don't need money, you don't need love, you need a companion.
You need a companion.
I don't want to die alone.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you think of grey divorces, which are 50 years and plus, you have to question those things.
Something serious has gone down.
So what I think now, bro, is that what I feel is that just think about it, okay? You have everything in the world. You have all the money. You have all the properties.
Literally.
You have all the toys. Okay? What I feel is that their only concern was, just think about it. This is just it might be like a thought or whatever. Now your children have grown old, right? Your children eventually move out. So if your purpose was to take care of the children, that's something that you do along with your spouse.
Taken care of years ago.
You know?
Yeah.
So once the children have also moved out, the children are living independently, what is something that you both can agree on doing? I don't see anything.
Yeah.
So I feel that, you know, that could also be like one way of them getting
But
divorced.
they had the foundation, keeping them together.
I mean, yeah, bro, but
working together, hand in hand, trying to save the world one day at a time.
Yeah, but
wasn't it the dream, Rahul?
It's a great dream, bro, or it's a front.
It can be. There was some controversy with them coming into India and testing on children or something. Of course,
bro, fuck them, bro. Ban their visas. Ban their visas, you know.
Billionaires are going through tough times.
So billionaires, it's a pattern, bro. You know,
they're going through a tough time.
It's definitely
sympathize with the billionaires, Rahul.
It's definitely a pattern because I think billionaires are... If you become a billionaire, bro, you're bound to get divorced. Just think about it, bro. Just think about it. You're going to fucking get married. You're only going to be like head over heels over your wife. For how many years? Be realistic.
There is too much at stake. That is true.
Bro, love fades. Remember that. Okay. Remember that,
Where's
bro.
the optimism, bro?
Just think about it, Devang.
No, I'm not.
Does love fade or no eventually?
It does.
It's a fact, no? It's a human flaw.
More often than not.
It's a human flaw.
More often than
right?
not. Yeah.
So when love fades, bro, what do you do, man?
Yeah.
You know? And when you got so much money at your disposal.
Yeah. You can get all the honeys.
Yes, with the monies.
Who do you think is going to be next for Bill, for Melinda?
I think
Who's sliding into the DMs?
I think all the sapiosexuals are going crazy, bro.
Yeah?
Like a scientist who just loves the mind, you know. Oh my
Frequency.
God, he's so smart. He's got so, my God, bro, I'm getting wet. You know,
The brainwaves.
I think he's gonna pull up, bro, Microsoft Office. One nice scientist, blondie, hottie,
Okay.
you know, who's only attracted to him for his mind.
So basically, like Jeff Bezos is now with a younger lady,
He's
right?
having a good time, my boy.
But Jeff Bezos again now he's little jacked.
Correct.
You know, he's
correct. You saw his Bangala, bro. I really like his Bangala outfits.
So Jeff Bezos has a different persona altogether, right? Whereas Bill Gates is a little more relaxed, you know, little more hunched back. So is he going to get, as you said, a sapiosexual older lady or a younger honey?
I think that he's gonna firstly test the waters.
Bro, that's too dangerous for him.
He's gonna test the waters.
That's
you know,
too dangerous
you know when
for
you're
him.
Bill Gates, you can't test the waters.
You can't test the waters.
You know you can. And let me think.
Bro, when you're a celebrity
let me
at
tell
that
you
level,
something
you
real
can't
quick.
even like DM and all.
You know what's
you
been
can't even.
you know what's been the trend in America, right? Sugar daddies.
That though he has, na bro.
Like he's bro. What do like the sugar daddy trend has taken off in America?
Sugar daddy
So he
trend
can
has
be a-
just come to light. It's not that it was not there before.
Sugar daddies are he can be a sugar daddy to so many honeys. What's there in that? Anyways, he's vaccinated everyone, so he knows where everyone is. Where are the
Jeff
baddies?
Bezos' wife is now with a school teacher. Yeah.
Lucky guy, bro.
Yeah.
Lucky guy.
So
I mean.
that's why who's going to be next for them? What do you see, you know?
See,
Older,
according to me,
younger,
to be honest with you, bro,
scientist.
I think that Melinda Gates is going to run for president.
Possible.
It's a fact.
I don't doubt it at all.
I'm
And if it
telling you.
happens, I won't be shocked.
I'm telling you, she doesn't even need anybody to invest in her fucking campaigns. She'll do it herself.
Yeah.
And if Donald
Plus,
Trump could.
as you said, the American dream. They are the American dream.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not hard to sell.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So
So I feel that Melinda Gates, whoever the person is, or I think she could just be a single mom or single lady who's just gonna focus on running on. This is my prediction.
yeah. No,
For presidency. So
I don't doubt it because her agenda is to save the world.
Correct.
To do better for the world. Give good water, sanitation,
Start with
hygiene,
America.
vaccines, right?
Start with America.
The image is crystal clear, right? At least Bill's image is tainted by capitalism, right? Okay, Bill has done everything for profit. But
wasn't there some news that he was trying to like block the sun rays from entering planet Earth or something?
experiments you have to do in science, Rahul.
Correct. Kill
Right?
people basically. Just fuck people up.
Science without experiments, there's no growth.
Okay. Fair
This is
enough,
called
fair
research
enough.
and development.
Fair enough.
Right?
That's why I hated science. That's why I hated science. I was not a science person. I didn't like the lab and shit.
So he's making piss into water, right? So he might have to block some sun
He
rays.
might have to. He kill everyone, basically. Kill everyone. Fuck it. But I think it'll be a scientist sort of lady who's just as smart as Bill Gates.
Hyper intelligent.
Hyper intelligent, sapiosexual, who's not attracted to anything but his mind and brain.
Correct.
And of course, money will play a part. What do you think?
I think money plays a part if you accept it or you don't.
Okay.
It just does play a part.
Okay.
That's how we are built.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
True.
So it's very difficult for him to find that true love. But I think he's much smarter than that. As you said, he's going to look for a sapiosexual companion. Someone he gets along with. Someone he can entertain his other billionaire guests with at a dinner party,
True.
Call them to the ranch.
True. Firstly, I don't understand these sapiosexuals. How can you be attracted to a fucking person who has brains? Everyone is attracted to somebody who has brains.
But they are attracted to people who can use their brains well.
Who isn't?
The people who read, the people who apply.
Shit, man.
You understand? Who can hold a conversation.
Okay, fair enough.
Rahul, yaar.
I guess I'm not come across only any sapiosexual. Just been dating dummies, I
Yeah,
guess.
we are out of that category, bro.
Shit, bro. We making it do what it do. So yeah, bro. So let's talk about marriage and divorce as a concept.
Chalo,
Because with COVID,
yeah, marriage as a divorce as a concept is very different in the Western world and very different in India.
Correct.
You agree with that, right?
Correct.
The perception.
Correct. Very true. Because two different cultures, two different upbringings.
Absolutely.
We are very traditional.
This tradition I don't understand as a word, bro.
Well-
That it's like you have to be oppressed in the name of tradition. I don't get that, you know.
No, I understand, but we have a lot of cultures and shit, you know.
Yeah, but you know, what happens is that in India now everyone says that because of our traditions, Indians don't get divorced and this and that. It's actually not because of the traditions. The
But of
tradition
course
is not
it's
there.
true.
It's just societal standards in India. So even if you're suffering in marriage, even if your husband hits you, you're going to suffer through.
Okay. You're saying
Okay.
that you have to keep
To
quiet.
protect the name of your children, to protect the name of your family, to protect the name of your in-laws
Absolutely true.
in the society. So that's how it's just come across since years.
Are you saying that with with the Indian marriage concept?
Yeah, I don't think it's a tradition.
It's that basically you keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Even though your marriage is not going
Yeah,
that
that-
great.
I think
and
that
just do it
happens.
for the sake of your children.
Yes.
Yeah. Or the sake of society pressure, or like how society will brand you.
Societal perception. So for example, see in marriages, there are chances of it to be a failure, right?
Bro, more chances now.
Exactly. So firstly, we have to accept that there are chances. Secondly, what are the ratio? What is the percentage, right? So some places can be little less, little more, but there are like 10%, 20%, 30%, right? But in India, more often than not, okay, for example, if the women is suffering in the marriage, and the suffering part, unfortunately, is not like they don't get along. It's something a little serious.
Correct.
You know, the husband is
Correct,
cheating,
correct,
the
correct.
husband is hitting, the husband is drinking and going berserk, you
Correct.
know, gambling his wealth away.
True.
But the lady is not empowered in India to take the decision to leave him and be independent. In India, it's like take it one day at a time.
But I'll
see
tell
what
you,
happens.
I'll tell you what.
See
bro.
what will people say about our
Definitely.
name. People say about our family.
Definitely agreed. But
So I don't think it's tradition
you
as
know,
such. I think it's just societal perception of
Correct.
divorce.
But I think COVID and the lockdown has played a major shift in this whole game, in this whole divorce structure, right? Because now what's happening with lockdown, that you're forced. So say you work 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day, right? You eventually get space from your wife or from your spouse or whatever. So you have that sort of distance. You're not always with your wife. You're not always with your husband. So now, what's happening is that since 2 years, everyone has been stuck at home.
Don't say 2 years.
2 years, bro. Come on, this year as good as done.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. I'm just being realistic now. Okay.
1 year anniversary just went.
1 year anniversary. So now one more year will come, and then nobody will take vaccines. They'll announce another lockdown. So what I feel is that now people are realizing that, can I actually spend time with my wife or husband 24 hours a day? So people are questioning that. And what's happening is that they're realizing that they can't. So divorce rates in Mumbai,
Not
and
Mumbai, across
in
the
India
world.
and across the world has gone up tremendously.
Yes.
So what they were saying, bro,
COVID divorces.
This is a factor in Bandra. The family court is in Bandra. It was shut for 8 months, because of COVID. So they were saying that they were getting daily 22 divorce petitions. Daily 22 divorce applications were coming to the family court, which is unheard of, especially in a country like India.
Wow.
So it's spiked up.
Yeah, even I've heard that COVID divorces were on the high across the world.
Correct.
Across the world. People weren't getting space, you know. Maybe in a small house.
True.
Just butting heads day long, you know.
Because if you're stuck with someone 24/7, of course you're going to like think of your future. Ke, oh bhai, is this the right companion?
But this is a bhari reality check, that you can't spend the whole day with your companion.
Then-
Like the whole year at home, you know. I don't think it's that big a task. You should be able to in a marriage. I think you should be able
100%. Because if you're unable to do that, then the marriage is not right.
to. Exactly. Exactly.
Because I think it's a good way of realizing that, okay, is this actually true love or is it just like, okay.
No, if you said that in COVID there are a lot of fights happening between spouses, fair enough.
It's bound to happen.
Bound to happen.
Not only spouses, with your siblings also you're going to fight.
Siblings
you're
too,
just
fair.
going to go
Yeah.
crazy.
But if you say that there are divorces going up, that means that maybe the marriages weren't the best options, right?
Of course.
Because think about it, 1 year you can stay together
1 year
in a
but
house. It's
bro,
okay. The love of your life.
Sometimes 1 year is enough to decide whether it's working or no.
That's what happened, na? People took a decision.
You know? So, of course, divorce rates are up. And with that being said...
But you know what rates are up also?
What?
Live-in relationships.
I love that.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Live-in relationships across the world have increased.
Incredible.
But the fact that it's increased in India is a big deal.
Incredible. But just think about it, no? Because this is the modern era. This is the modern era of love and marriages.
True that.
You know, nobody now... See, like you said, like you stated now that... So, I'll tell you one thing. I read a very, very well put article by one divorce lawyer in India. So, he said there's one reason as to why divorce rates are spiking up in India. Firstly, it's because of women empowerment. Okay, what were women... Back in the day, 20, 30 years back, women were not allowed...
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Were not allowed to leave their home.
Yeah, they didn't have the option to get
have
divorced.
A professional commitment.
Yes.
But now, what's happening is...
They can gain independence.
That now, women are so hardworking that they are doing both. They are also doing their daily chores and they have a professional commitment and they're also earning money for the family.
They are not financially dependent on the husband.
Yes. So, what happens now is that the husband, unfortunately, you know, like a lot of men in India... think a little weirdly, think a little awkwardly. So what they expect is that I'm not going to contribute to the daily chores of the house. I'm a man.
Yeah.
You know?
They play the alpha male card.
Exactly. So what happens is that now the women are anyways now financially independent. So they can just tell the fucking husband, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, contribute as much as I'm contributing.
Yeah.
So what happens?
We were all cleaning vessels, cleaning our rooms and houses and whatnot, mopping, sweeping, everything we did.
Yeah. So, but there are a lot of men that...
Including my father.
Yeah. There are a lot of men that disagree. Yeah. They say that they don't do it. If they don't disagree, the son's in-laws disagree.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a tradition. It's not an Indian tradition that this, you know, okay, men are not supposed to do this, men are not supposed to do that. It's a societal thing.
Correct.
It's not an Indian tradition.
Correct.
It's a societal tradition.
Absolutely agreed.
Right? So, like society evolves and it builds on how you behave, right?
Absolutely.
You behave in a certain way, you come and tell your friends are influenced and they behave in a certain way and then it just becomes the norm. Okay, so when a new girl comes into a family, they say that this is how we work. This is our tradition.
And follow
after this time, you're supposed to do this. At this time, you're supposed to do this. And it's normal. Everyone in our culture does this. Everyone in our society does it. And the girl is like... The girl is like, I don't have an option. I just have to do it. If I want to be happy in this house, I just have to do it. So they take away your option firstly.
And I'll tell you why.
And this is not a tradition. I don't think this is any Indian tradition.
So what I also feel, Devang, is that if it's a young marriage, you can mold the young person's mind, you know.
Absolutely.
Basically, if you're young, you can adapt to all of this.
Absolutely.
But now what's happening is that my mom got married at the age of, I think, 21. 21, she got married at the age of 21. I'm sure like even your parents got married at a very young age.
Yeah.
Because that was that era.
Yeah.
Now, in our era, it's 30. It's a fact.
Yeah.
So what happens is that when you're already 30, you've seen so much of life that you're not going to adapt to that bullshit.
Why would you?
Why would you?
Why would you?
Why would you?
Yeah.
Why do you want to do the daily chores when you're capable of doing much more?
Exactly.
Right? So what happens is that you're anyways becoming financially independent. You can afford to have a fucking divorce.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and I think fair enough. The problem is when the husband is not capable enough to understand that, okay, things are not going to work out the way it did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Let's take a decision. Let's live separately. Let's figure it out. You know? So, what is the first reason not to live separately? Money, rent, new house. Why to do that?
Correct.
Break the family.
Correct.
But you have to understand that just taking that one step and doing that struggle of living in a new house and doing your own laundry and doing everything and not being dependent at all on your family, okay, at least gives you mental peace.
True.
Mental happiness.
True.
Right? Your family is at least not broken up.
True.
Even for some time, you guys will fight. But eventually everyone will be happy because at the end when you go home, you're sleeping like a child, you know, with nothing, no baggage. Correct. Out here in a family situation where the wife would not be happy, the husband would not be able to find a solution, you know, to the change that the in-laws are asking for. So it's what is it going to lead to? Only frustration.
Frustration and a lot of conflict.
Right? Conflict.
You don't want conflict.
And what happens when there's frustration and conflict? the person frustrated is being called crazy, is being called as the source of the problem, right? So eventually when something like this happens, everyone blames the lady, everyone blames the wife.
That you're not following the societal
norms. She was crazy,
norms.
she had problems, she couldn't do this, घर के काम नहीं कर सकते थे, ये नहीं कर सकते थे, वो नहीं कर सकते थे. And you know, the sad part is that they call all this tradition.
Fuck
the sad
tradition.
part is they call all this tradition.
See, this, you know what pisses me off now? How are you going to stick to tradition and keep sticking to your tradition when you have to move on? You know, as you proceed through the years, things change. You have to learn to adapt.
Bro.
If you don't adapt, bro, you lose out.
Everything evolves, right? Technology evolves. Okay, our nature, our mental evolves. So the same way society evolves. So
exactly,
there was a time in this world, okay, when you were obese, you were considered sexy. Can you believe that today? You can't believe that today, because that's not how it works today. Today you need to have 6 packs. You need to look like you don't eat. You need to look like you don't eat bread since the last 4 years to be attractive.
True that.
Right? There was a time, just a few 100 years ago, when you were fat, you were considered sexy.
Correct.
Even in the Renaissance times.
Big build.
Yeah, big build. Because why? Considered to have money. Right? So society has evolved from that.
True.
Right? So it evolved to the point that no, being healthy is more important.
Exactly.
Right? So it changed.
Correct.
So this is evolution of society.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with traditions. It is not an Indian tradition.
Yes, but exactly, that's such a great point, because if we are going to stick to our earlier traditions, when no technology was there, when there was no education, lack of education back in the days, say for example, child marriage was a concept that was fucking brought up in the fucking historic times.
Yeah.
When there were kings and queens.
Yeah.
When if I was a king, my son, who was at least at the age of 8 or 9, his wife was already decided.
Yeah.
You know, but if you keep without education and without modern thinking, you bring on those traditions to the 21st century.
It's not going to
fucking work.
It's not going to work. Certain things worked at a certain time. There have been crazy things and crazy rules and crazy kind of oppressions that have been going through since so many times, many years, right? But right now, it's changed. You got to change with the time.
Correct.
It's as simple as that.
Correct.
Right? Today,
correct.
When you think about child marriage and all, you think that you should go to jail. Right? But just a few 100 years ago, it was absolutely normal.
100%.
It was absolutely normal. So society has evolved. So I don't call it Indian tradition when it comes to divorce and marriage. I call it the societal evolution. And some people not evolving with it. But it's changing.
It has to change.
It's changing because finally what's happened is that women have got enough empowerment that they're not dependent. Right?
Not at all.
They're not only...
And it's amazing to see.
Yeah, they're not only not dependent on their husband, they're also not dependent on their own family.
They're not dependent on anyone. Independence.
Exactly. So that is the beauty. So when even when your husband says get out of the house or something, okay, and your in-law and your own family says that no, you can't come back, go and make up with him.
It's all right.
You can show everybody the middle finger.
Fuck all of you.
Yeah, I'm going to be happy.
Fuck all of you.
I'm going to do me, baby.
Correct.
Right?
And I think it's long overdue. People in India, men and women, need to learn how to be independent. You know, one thing which is a pro and a con, is that we are a very family-oriented country.
Yeah.
For us, family is everything.
Yeah.
Like in America, children move out of their parents' house at the age of 18.
Yes.
When it comes to 16 or 18,
16,
you know. We are very similar to Italy. Even in Italy, they don't move out.
Yeah.
Children don't move out of their parents' house until they're 30 or until they figure out that they have to move out.
Yeah, but in India, they never move out.
In India, they never move out.
Yeah.
You know, so the concept of independence in India has never been that strong, right? Think about it.
No, I see it as just taking a strong decision. At the end, you have to weigh the pros and the cons. Okay. If things are not working out, go and live separately. That struggle is better than this struggle. It's going to be a struggle regardless. It's going to be tough. It's not easy to say that let's pack the bags and get out of here. No. It's going to be tough to find a house. It's going to be tough to find a house in the right location.
True.
You can't afford it.
True.
All those struggles will be there.
And then again, of course, society is going to fucking label you, right?
But bro,
single husband, single father, single mother.
There is no price on freedom.
Not at all.
At the end, people can chirp all day long.
You just got to put your fingers up.
There is no price on. Yeah, there's no price
put
on
your
freedom.
Fingers up.
At the end of the day, people will all come back and then clap that you did the right thing.
Correct.
You know, when they see you happy, they see you successful, they see that you've overcome all the struggles of living alone and figuring it out and, you know, taking the heavier adversary of maybe traveling and finance and this and that, you know.
Bro, I'll tell you a personal experience. My mother was a single mother. She brought me up. She brought me and my sister up together. So I've seen that, you know, people judge a lot.
It's crazy.
It's a fact.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a fact.
And what you're talking about is 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So imagine that.
It was worse
10, 12 years. So as a son and as a man, I've seen that,
First
you know,
hand.
like basically everything is firstly to you're judged.
Yeah.
India is what that, oh shit, you come from a broken family. I'm so sorry. But why are you sorry? What is there to be sorry in that?
Yeah.
Why are you giving me sympathy? Firstly, don't show no sympathy. You know, in America and in the modern world and in the Western world, bro, there's never marriage only. You have baby mamas and you have baby daddies and you grow and you live.
Yeah.
Right? But in India, oh, you come from a broken marriage. Very upsetting, very disappointing to hear. But I think that it's all going to change because individuals like me and you are not sticking to the concept of getting married young. Because if you don't get married young, now your mind gets time to think.
Yeah. And you know what? Get married young. You know, do whatever you want. But at the end, stand up for what's right.
True that.
Stand up for what's right. That's it.
True that.
When you stand up for what's right, you have to take tough decisions.
You have to.
Right?
You have to.
And that's all you got to do. And then they'll stop calling all these traditions and they'll call it just how society behaves. And societal behavior changes over time. It's changed all over the world. It's changed in India. India is not what it was 100 years ago and not what it was 200 years ago for sure. Right?
And you know why? Because of the internet.
Not only because
The
of the
internet plays a big part in this.
It's just today everyone is well informed about everything.
That's
you can't fool anybody.
That's the way, that's the key. Because once you know what's happening in other countries, why can't you adopt it here?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
Bro, can you imagine in Saudi, women are just allowed to start
Drive
driving?
now. Wow, bro. Incredible, man.
That makes no sense.
Incredible.
That makes no sense.
How are you going to not allow a lady to drive?
That makes no sense.
Shit.
That makes no sense. Okay, you say that women should not be in the army. Okay, why? Because if you think about it, men are fighting versus men. You know, there's a possibility of rape and all of that. So you want to avoid those consequences. So there is an argument. Regardless of a good or bad argument, there is an argument.
There's an argument, which makes sense.
So for example, when it comes to all those kind of jobs, all those kind of activities, there has to be some kind of an argument why you are saying no to a lady to do something, right? For
100%.
driving?
I'm telling you, Devang, we are in such... Just enjoy your life right now. Because we are seeing so much happen that we'll be able to tell our children so much, bro. That there are countries that that women are still not allowed to drive. It's a fucking shame.
It's a shame.
It's a fucking shame, bro.
Yeah. And okay, women not allowed to drive in Saudi. It's a Saudi tradition? No. It's not a tradition. It's not a cultural tradition. It's the lack of the societal evolution.
Correct. No, I mean, like, see.
It can't be a religious or a cultural tradition for women not being able to drive. I think it's a more societal
No, but
thing.
it's a fucking human right, man. It's a human right. Whatever a man can do, a woman can do.
You know who decides?
A lady can do that.
You know who decides your rights?
Who?
Your government.
Fuck. Okay,
Bruh.
fair enough.
Rights?
उसमें तो मेरे को अभी firstly I'm again irritated because now that 21 का tax you have to pay by July. I told you last time, bro, we have to bounce. South America is waiting for us, bro. Tax evasion is here. Now they're deciding our rights. I don't know what's going to happen next. You know? So basically now what we have to do is get into a more modern concept. Okay, now what I want to understand from you, with divorces going up, with everything happening right now, I want to talk about the concept of marriage. Do you think marriages in the 20th, 21st century is completely based on a financial model?
No.
Like how I want to put it across is that is love and finance, basically love and the money, it's an equal equation when you're deciding to get married to a person.
See, when it comes to marriages, there are many reasons why a person gets married. And I would not say that all marriages are just based on true love. Like that's a joke.
But, I'm saying marriage. I'm saying just marriage right now,
Right?
modern day world.
So marriage is based on societal standing, you know, how much money you have, or it can just
is that
true
the
love.
Is that the first point that comes to people's mind in this day and age? Is that paisa hai ki nahi?
So I think that when it comes to marriage, we really have to understand the deeper meaning of marriage, bro. Because, you know, love is one thing. But I don't think love and marriage is the same thing. Do you get my point? Like, for example, you can love a person. Okay? You date the person, you love the person, you marry the person, whatever, right? But I think there is a deeper meaning to marriage. Okay? For what you said before, that at the end, eventually life is about companionship.
That's the only thing you need, no?
Correct?
See, I have one thing, bro.
So eventually, after 30 years, 20 years of marriage,
I'll tell you,
romance is not expected.
I'll tell you the concept of marriage.
It's like a cherry on the cake.
Your first marriage should be for love. Second marriage should be for money. And your third marriage should be for companionship.
Then I'll be broke.
That's it. That's it. Think about it. First, you get married for love. Okay, you understand that it's not always about love; it's about money. Then you get married for the bank, baby. Okay, then you realize that money ain't going to keep me happy. I got Ferraris, I got Rolls Royces. I'm still crying. I need someone. Then you get married for companionship. What do you think, bro?
I don't think I can handle the
Should I write a book
taboo.
on O now? Should I write a book on O on marriage?
I don't think I can handle the 3 marriage taboo in India, bro.
Oh shit.
You know, I don't want people to look at me and say that Sale ne to 3 shaadi ki hai. You know, I don't want to be that guy.
Oh shit. Bro, have you ever imagined that you became a baby daddy, bro?
Are you mad? Are you mad?
I want to discuss, before we get into this fucking marriage thing, I want to discuss the concept of baby daddies and baby mamas in fucking India.
It's common. I'll tell you that. It's more common than you think.
What are you saying, bro?
It's more common than you think.
Actually?
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. More power. More power.
It's absolutely more common than you
More
think.
power.
Yeah. I believe men around the world are the same.
So, same as in, like, what's the first thing that came to your mind?
I'm just telling you simply that it's all the same. If out of 10, 8 men or 7 men cheat in America, I promise you is the same number in India if they have the opportunity. Correct? Opportunities to cheat are much lesser in India. Right? Have you seen a man's lights spark up when you say the word Bangkok?
For Indians, bro.
How many lights? How many jokes are made on Bangkok travel?
Firstly, let me tell you one thing. Okay, when companies take you, let's go, we'll take you out for an international trip.
Yeah, Bangkok is what, to fucking
Indian
meditate.
Companies are only taking Indian men to Bangkok.
Yeah, but that's because visa on arrival. But Hong Kong is also visa on arrival.
Visa on arrival, arey bro, please don't give me that bullshit.
And
okay? Visa on arrival, bro, you can go a lot of places.
And also Hong Kong visa on arrival is free, whereas Bangkok you have to pay a nominal amount.
2,000-3,000 rupees.
Something, yeah.
Go to Bangkok, remove all your khunnas and come back. So basically what you're saying is that Indian men are the same like American men, and the concept of baby daddies and baby mamas exist
all around the world. And I think all the Indian men who think that their wives don't know it are fools. They maybe not knowing who the person is, but they definitely know something is happening. They definitely know something is happening. But as you said, maybe after a certain amount of years, it's okay. It's companionship. It's companionship that matters. And
see, bro,
it's the children that matter.
One thing is there that, you know, now in this time and in this day and age, open relationships are now flourishing, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so if...
As in, I don't know how long lasting those relationships are. Like, I totally agree to the point that yes, open relationships, cheating and all happens. But I don't know if that happening is a successful happening, right? On the other side, is it successful? It happens. It breaks one thing. Okay. Or it puts an obstacle to one
what
thing.
I think is that open relationships is just a way to amend your old relationship. Are you understanding what I'm saying? That we are still in a relationship, but you can fuck around and I can fuck around just so the people that are with us are happy. You know, let's broker this deal.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out and
I think it's more common than we assume it to be.
100%, huh?
Yeah, definitely. And you know, that's how you think about it. Okay, what is it at the end? What is it? Is marriage just love? Do you have to be head over heels for the rest of your life? Is it possible to be head over heels? What are the examples? How many people are? You understand? So I think there is a deeper meaning to marriage. I think marriage is deeper than love. I think this is marriage. That marriage is eventually you fall in love with the right person. and you enjoy spending your time with them. That's why they say na that marry your best friend.
Correct.
Because at the end, it's about companionship. It's about, there's a saying that find a person who can enjoy being silent with you.
Correct. Where there's no awkward silence.
Right. So it's not all lovey-dovey all the time.
True. So what I think about this whole situation with marriage, right, is that firstly, I'm a big believer that your whole head over heels feeling and your madly in love feeling eventually subsides.
It does.
And when that subsides,
it's called the honeymoon period.
It's the honeymoon period. So once the honeymoon period ends, okay, I'll tell you something, bro. I'm being very brutally honest. But once that ends, you need money to fucking comfort you.
Yeah.
And if there's no money, the problems pile up. Just think about it.
Yeah.
Everything right now is basis what? If there's one thing that's ruling the world, it's money.
Yeah.
Okay, so why can't it rule a relationship?
Yeah.
I would say that our parents were blessed. Our parents got married for love. But in the modern day and age, I think everything is revolving around money. And why not? Bro, having a kid is expensive.
Yeah.
Okay? Renting a house, buying a house is expensive. Fuck it, marriages are expensive. Weddings are expensive.
In India?
So if everything is revolving around money in India, I believe that it only connects to marriages.
But the thing is, Rahul, I think it's very evident. I think it's just like you're saying it and people don't say it. But who doesn't know it's not about money?
No, but it's an
who doesn't know?
Of course.
Who doesn't know?
Of course. That's what I'm trying to understand is that people...
The whole concept of an arranged marriage is that Rahul is from this standard of a family. We have to find somebody at a same or a higher standard.
You know what I think is the most perfect marriage now, bro? I think even though this fucker is a little asshole, Conor McGregor. His girl was with him when he was picking up welfare checks. Right? You know the story. His girl was with him when he was picking up welfare checks. That's exactly love. She believed in the vision.
Yeah.
Today, he can give her a different car to drive every day of the week.
No.
Because she believed in the vision.
But see, I don't think we are saying in any which way that their love doesn't exist. I don't think we're saying that.
No ways.
And nor are we saying that lifelong marriage doesn't exist. A concept of a happy marriage does not exist. I don't think we're saying that.
No, not at all.
I think what we're saying is that whether we like it or not, more often than not, there are troubled marriages, but it's difficult to communicate and get out of that zone because of pressure, societal pressure, societal taboo. Public क्या बोलेगी, लोग क्या बोलेंगे, लोग क्या सोचेंगे?
वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना यार, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ, bro. The scene is now that people like to show more than they have.
Yeah.
Right? That's a ego boost.
Yeah.
Okay, I might not have this, but I can show you I have this for this much amount of time. So let me show it to you.
Yeah.
And then what happens is that you're not able to live up to that expectation.
So
eventually, Devang, if you think about it, money plays a big part.
Bro, there's no doubt about
There's
it.
no doubt.
Seema Ben, bro.
If fucking marriage brokers are taking so much money.
Not only taking so much money, they're pairing you up with a person with the same or more amount of money. So money does play a part. There's no doubt about it. Nobody does not believe in that.
But what I think is that love is the most powerful thing in the world.
That's what it is.
Because when at the end of the day you're sitting in a room,
you know what? Love, na Rahul, leads to forgiveness. It leads to happy compromise. You want to compromise for somebody. You want to sacrifice for somebody.
Great one.
It's not a task.
Great one.
When it doesn't feel like a task, na,
great one.
That is love, And if that, what goes up and down is the romance, is the lovey-doveyness, it's all of that. That shifts, right? Because you get more comfortable and the honeymoon phase goes away. That's human nature. So if you just remove that, love does exist.
Love does exist in many ways.
Yeah. But what is the love that leads to a successful marriage is unconditional love.
Correct.
Correct. When you let the other person's baggage be out of the room.
100%.
You don't think about that.
So marriage as a concept is derived out of love only.
I think I think there is a deeper meaning to marriage, and we just see it as you love and you get stay together,
and then you have to figure it out.
But I think there is a deeper meaning to the concept of marriage, that why people get married, Because eventually when the love and the romance fades out, there is some value to a marriage. I don't think a marriage is totally useless.
No, then what happens is that eventually, if love fades out, is you already have children.
Yeah. Like for example, I'll tell you, in my family, like my grandparents used to fight every day. Like my grandmom would shout at my grandfather for the dumbest things of eating candy or sugar because he has diabetes and all, right? So if you would see it from a bird's eye view, it was just bickering all the time. But there was so much love and value in that relationship.
Of course.
You know, there was so much love and value in the relationship that when they were not together and you spoke about the other person in front of them, the stories that would come out,
correct,
you know, would be very heartfelt.
Of course.
So you understand that there is value to a marriage, but what is the exact value? We don't know that.
Nobody knows.
It's not just love. It's not just money. It's not just staying together for
it's way deeper.
How you look outside in the society,
way deeper,
you know?
It's way deeper.
How your family is perceived outside.
It's way deeper.
Yeah. I think there is, you know, I think marriage is a religious concept also. And I think there is a value to marriage.
There's a very deep
I don't know exactly what it is.
At the end of the day, you have to understand one thing, that if there was no marriage, there would hardly be any reproduction.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a way of God telling you that guys get married and just reproduce.
Did you know if you wanted to be a captain in a Italian mafia syndicate, the first rule was that you have to be married.
Of course.
Because only married men can be trusted.
Which was that fucking movie, bro?
All movies. Goodfella, Godfather.
Joe Pesci movie, man.
The Godfella Casino.
No, Joe Pesci and that guy where they convince him to get married and then he joins the fucking syndicate.
The Goodfellas.
The Goodfellas.
Yeah.
The Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And where every Italian mobster is married.
It's a rule.
And then they have dinner together and, you know.
I remember.
The wives know the wives.
FBI had found a paper with the rules.
Okay. You have to be married.
Yeah, of the Sicilian
You have to be
mafia.
a family man, bro.
You have to be married and you have to be a family man because you can be trusted.
True.
So there is a deeper value to marriage. It's there is love, there is companionship, there is finance and stability, you know. But I think it's an amalgamation of two people being happy together for the rest of their lives. Happy, stable,
and so what
reliable.
Yeah. And so what if you have to restart? So what if things don't work out, you know?
Yeah.
So what? You fucking move on.
You move on.
You know?
You move on.
So another...
But, you know, it's all, at the end, you know, life is just perception. Ye kya sochega, wo kya bolega.
Yeah. The
life
less only
you give,
the
better.
fucking situation with life also becomes in such a way that half your life will get over and just of you thinking what other people think of you.
Oh.
Not even half. I think majority of your life you're not paying attention to what you want, you're paying attention to what people think you need to want.
You said it. You said it, Rahul.
So if
there was beer in my thing, I would cheer you.
Fuck it, same. We're still gonna do the cheers. So half of that is gonna go in that. Half your life goes around in just showcasing somebody or not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You said my Instagram highlights.
Boss, I went to Bangkok 2019, 2018. Watch my highlights. But my strong prediction for the future, with so many technologies coming about and so many diseases coming about, unfortunately, and I think it's going to play a very big shift in the whole concept of marriage. So what I want to understand from you is that eventually down the line, might not be our era, but will marriage become obsolete?
No, I don't think so.
But there are a lot of... Okay, why don't you think so?
Because of what I said right now, that I think there is a deeper meaning to marriage. I don't think it's just money, love, or societal construct of marriage. I think there is a deeper meaning to being with somebody for the rest of your life.
Completely agree, but...
It's like it's like a tattoo is different from a painting on the hand, right?
Very well
The
said.
pain has the value.
And it's permanent.
It's permanent. And also, if you could get a tattoo without the pain, the value would reduce of the tattoo. Right?
Correct.
So, there is some value to marriage which is deeper than just love, which is deeper than just being romantic all the time. You know, when you see a happily married couple, you don't have to see somebody just, giving pecks to each other and holding hands all the time. That's not the sign of a happy marriage. There is more to a happy marriage than that.
So let's keep this conversation
But I
open.
think I think the concept of marriage will evolve.
It will evolve.
No doubt.
I think, there are possibilities of the concept of marriage eventually becoming obsolete. I'll tell you why. Number one is independence, right? When you're independent, you don't need to rely on someone. This is just my thinking. I was just thinking out loud.
Fair enough.
Is that eventually what is marriage? Marriage is eventually you need to rely on someone.
Correct.
Right? This day and age, a lot of people are eventually becoming independent. Like we discussed, men and women are very independent. They don't need to go to their parents' house. They don't need to go to their in-laws' house. They're very happy independent. So when you're independent, once you enjoy independence, it becomes very difficult for you to rely on people, right? Number two is that marriage is very directly linked to sex. Just think about it.
Yes.
Right? Marriage, say traditional India.
Very true.
19th century, 20th century, early 20th century also.
No, even now.
In marriages that you are unable to have sex until and unless you are married.
That's the first reason for accepted divorces.
Yes. So what happens is now we are seeing relationships becoming very open.
Yeah.
Sex is very freely
available,
accepted and available now. Say for example, in the past and in the previous years, you would not meet people that would be like, okay, I've had sex outside before I've got married. But now I think a majority of people that exist in this 2021 have had sex before getting married. It's a fact, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that also plays a major part.
Yeah.
Another thing is that might be a little weird, fam. I'll tell you something.
You know what you said right now about the sex, and I think that is the evolution of marriage, right? So there was a time when you were married very early, right? So I'm not even talking about child marriage. I'm talking 18 and 21, right? The legal ages. The idea is that a virgin marries a virgin. That was the idea. That was
pure.
The ideal idea.
That's marriage.
Pure.
That is marriage.
For the society that existed at a time. But now we are bringing the change because we are not accepting that. Right?
Correct.
So that was the idea when families found somebody for you. But today we are telling the families that you don't need to find anybody for us. Right?
So are you indirectly saying that sex basically was the purest way of justifying your love? That you're the only person I'm going to have sex with?
Get married young because eventually sex is very natural. You need it. There's an age where you evolve.
Correct.
So you have to partake in sex. So marriage was a factor in that decision taking, So that's why it was done at a certain age.
So now that sex is something that is widely available, accessible around India, and especially I'm talking about India because we have a lot of traditions to follow. Okay, so that's one thing that is available to you. Marriage was indirectly sex was indirectly marriage, which leads to reproduction.
Yeah.
Right? So now that's freely available. Like you mentioned a few minutes back, that live-in relationships are on the rise.
Yes.
So there are a lot of like-minded couples that
live in relationships and contraceptives.
Yes,
options.
My boy, contraceptives are on the rise.
No. What you said right now, childbearing ages. The whole concept has changed. That is the evolution
I'm telling you,
we are
all
going
of
through
this
currently.
Yes. So all of this is available. Eventually, it's just making sense that marriage might just become obsolete with divorce rates going up, like unheard of. 56% in America. That means that marriage is not working.
But you don't understand. Divorce rates going up, but have you seen the marriage rates? Marriage rates also going up.
But that's why divorce rates are going up.
Yeah. And marriage rates are going up faster than divorce rates. So that means in America, there are more marriages happening. Also, do you know that in India, we are getting married later on, and in America, they are getting married earlier on?
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
So that is is their societal change. That is their evolution of society.
100%.
Right?
100%.
The way you live and the way you behave eventually and how you adapt to the environment changes the society, right? So that's what they are going through. This is what we are going through, But
another thing that might be a little weird, but what I want to also talk to you about is like these robotic sex dolls. I think it's going to play a major role. We might not be alive. I'm telling you this. But in the future, all of this, marriage, sex, all of this is eventually going to be fucking AI. Yeah. And it's all going to be robotic sex dolls.
I believe.
It's going to happen, man.
Now that I believe. Think
about that shit.
Yeah, that I believe. But why it won't happen in India is because those things are expensive. And
so when I'm talking about marriage, now I'm not talking only India, I'm talking worldwide. Huh?
Worldwide. So where is this the most popular? Japan, right? Also, the standard of living in Japan is very high.
Correct.
Also, people live in Japan alone. Secondly, they get to do all these freaky things in their house because they have the money also. Correct?
Yeah, because standard of living is high.
Standard of living is high. So even if they're living in a small house, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They can surround their walls with porno if they want, you know.
They don't give a fuck.
But you can't do that in India, right?
Correct.
So a person who even has interest, who has a crazy sexual urge and he wants a doll or whatever, he can't do that in an Indian house. Can't hide it.
Because you're living with your parents, boss.
Thanks.
You get kicked out, bro, on the road.
You get kicked out, yeah. And then the acceptability factor. Secondly, in Japan, you know, when you have a smaller house, you don't invite guests home. In India, we invite guests home with a...
Yeah. Please,
you know,
come.
It's a part...
Bro,
now that,
guests are gods.
Now that is a part of our tradition.
Yes.
To invite guests home, take care of our guests, you know, treat them as family members.
Yes.
That is tradition.
Yes.
That is not societal evolution.
Yes, bro.
That is tradition.
True. There's this very crazy story that I was actually watching a YouTube video yesterday of some very famous black motivational speaker. He said that I was in India once and I forgot my wallet in a taxi. And I was like, okay, India is a very populated country and also, you know, dealing with a lot of poverty. I don't think I'm going to get back my wallet. So they called this hotel concierge and he's like, okay, you know, can you please get in touch with the taxi cab service that I left my wallet in the cab. Can you get in touch with that person? So the concierge is like, we've been trying for 2-3 hours. You know, we are unable to get in touch with the taxi driver. So after a few hours, the taxi driver comes to the hotel to return the wallet. And that person, that motivational speaker rushes down. I think this is Mumbai, in Taj or somewhere. So that motivational speaker asks the taxi driver, okay, you know, thank you for coming and giving my wallet. What's your monthly income? So he said that it was 2,500 rupees. So the person opened his wallet and he had exactly $70. So he said that, okay, you know, this is my token to you, your monthly salary for returning my wallet. That person said, you know, I cannot take it. He got very agitated. And there was a translator. So he said, no, I don't want the money. So that person said, what can I do, you know, for a way of me to show appreciation to you? So that person said, that taxi driver said, you come home, be my friend and have a tea with me.
क्या बात है, माशाल्लाह.
So this is tradition.
Wow.
Say, come home, let me be my friend and just have a cup of tea with me.
Cheers to him.
You know, so
sweet.
This is tradition.
So sweet. So yeah, you won the heart over.
Then?
And what happened after that? That guy spoke about the story to the rest of the world.
2.5 million views. YouTube.
2.5 million views, and today we are talking about it. So it's incredible.
It's a fact.
So that is a tradition.
100%.
That is a tradition. Staying in a failed marriage is not an Indian tradition. It's not a cultural norm that we have.
True.
It's just societal construct. You know, it's just perception. It's just what we think of what others think.
I'm telling you, half our life is going in that, which I don't want to. Which is something that people are not accepting.
Yeah.
You know? What is?
Yeah. So
what is the reason?
What do you accept? How at the end? What is the solution? The solution is to weigh the pros and cons and see that eventually how are you going to have a happy married life, right? A happily ever after. How are you going to achieve that, right? You can't please your father, mother, wife, sister all together. You have to displease one. For the greater good.
You said it. You said the answer to this question like 5 minutes back. It's compromise.
It's compromise.
You have to fucking compromise.
That is true love. That's what I'm saying. That's a reason for. That's a very good reason for a successful marriage.
Correct.
You know,
compromise.
That compromise without thinking that is compromise. You know, a happy compromise.
Big fact.
कि लगना नहीं चाहिए कि मैंने तेरे लिए ऐसा किया. Unconditional love.
True.
करो तो ऐसा करो ना, नहीं तो मत करो.
I'm so happy that at least we are in this era where we have to get married.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Where eventually bro, I'm a big fan of marriage.
The decision is for us.
I think that if you don't get married, it's just a way of you not finding a companion for the rest of your life.
I'm pro marriage.
I'm very pro marriage.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very pro marriage.
Yeah. And talking about marriage, the last question, Rahul, obviously is, what do you think about prenup? Because prenup is this double-edged sword. Why do you want a prenup? is the love not enough? Okay, and if you don't want the money, then why don't you sign the prenup? It's a double-edged sword.
Shit, bro. Basically, you're just putting me already in a big mess with my future wife, right now. Prenup, I think, is basically... It ties back to my main question which I asked you, is marriage built on a very financial base? That indirectly relates to that, right?
Yeah. And maybe asking the prenuptial question or putting the agreement forward can prove the point that it is financial.
It's financial.
At least it can prove at least it can start the conversation that is it all about money?
See, bro.
Is that not love? Why do you have to sign the prenup?
100%. But to be honest with you, I'm very pro prenup.
Yeah.
I'm very pro prenup. You know why? Because again, we are in 2021.
Yeah.
Okay. You be independent, right?
Trust no one.
Trust no bitch, fam. Trust no bitch. You know that t-shirt which was making the rounds with the eyes covered? Trust no bitch and all. See, you be independent, I'll be independent, okay? Why do we have to eat you don't eat off my plate, I won't eat off your plate.
Yeah.
Why do you want... If you don't want a prenup, that's a way of you fucking communicating something to me.
Yeah.
And if I'm telling you I want a prenup, that's a way of me communicating something to you.
That's what I'm saying. It's a double-edged sword that if you don't want the money, why don't you sign it?
Yeah.
And if you love me, why are you asking me to sign it?
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you need to... I'm very pro prenup. Again, I'm repeating, I'm very pro prenup.
No, at the end
because
of the day,
what
Rahul, at the end of the day, you just have to frame the question at the right time, in the right tone.
Yes. I'm saying there should be an agreement where there's no prenup. I'm very pro child support also.
Yeah, of course.
Child support is very needed.
Absolutely.
There can't be anybody that you plan to divorce your wife and then you don't pay child support even though you have children. So I'm very pro child support. I'm very pro prenup.
I'm even pro spouse support.
But yeah, 100%. All supports. Yeah. But when it comes to me, my whole life, I've worked towards making an X amount of money.
Yeah.
I've done it independently, okay? Yeah. Solely, okay? With help of my family, whatever. Yeah. But when I have to give 50% to you, I'm not pro of that.
Yeah.
Like I put that very similarly to Dr. Dre's situation.
Yeah.
Dr. Dre had a recent divorce, right? And apparently there was some
tragic divorce,
some prenup agreements that were not agreed on before marriage. Now there was no cheating or anything involved in this. Apparently, it was just some miscommunication.
Yeah, when cheating is involved, your 50% is gone.
Then you give only.
Then you give.
Then you keep quiet and you give it.
Then it's gone.
But then if a divorce is over some small issues like miscommunication or someone, and you have to give 50% of your life's earnings.
Yeah.
Bro, you gotta question that shit.
No, absolutely. That's why I'm pro.
What do you think?
I'm absolutely pro prenup.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Right? 100%.
Yeah. See, I'm pro prenup, but that doesn't mean I'm fearless.
See, bro. Otherwise,
I'm going to be anxious about asking the question about getting that signature, but it's just that.
Yeah, bro.
You do it at the right time.
100%. I'm with you.
At the right place.
But guess what?
And hopefully the communication sticks. Hopefully what your intent is communicated out of your mouth, because sometimes what happens is that you mean something and you say something else, and the meaning is taken, which is something totally different.
But somebody who overcame the prenup situation, Mr. Jeff Bezos.
He didn't come.
Yo, this guy.
What are you saying?
This guy basically had a prenup, gave half of his net worth.
Yeah.
And then fucking went to 150 billion. I'm happy that he didn't get divorced when he was 200 billion or like whatever, 150 billion. This guy had planned it very well.
He didn't plan nothing, Rahul. It just happened. His time is good.
So he made more money. Are you saying Nazar like
no, one second. If you say that he had a successful prenup or something, that means that he should not give majority of his wealth.
No, I'm saying
he should give a part of his wealth that leads his wife to live the same lifestyle. So, for example, if they are living in a mansion, I don't think the wife should deteriorate her lifestyle. I agree to that part. But that doesn't mean that if you own 100 billion, you have to give 50. If it happens in one, you can give one. What I am saying is the lifestyle should be, if she's driving a Ferrari for the last 10 years, she better be driving a Ferrari after the divorce. I agree to that. I'm not saying she should go back to, because that is mental torture.
Correct. No, but what I'm saying is that Jeff Bezos gave half of his net worth.
Yeah.
And still is number one.
वो तो नसीब है ना उसका यार.
Understanding that's boss level status. He overcame. He told the prenup, fuck you. Yeah. You my bitch. The prenup is my bitch.
He just said के sign कर देते, कमा लेंगे.
देख लेंगे.
You know what Guju say na, when sometimes the expenditure hits the heart, you know, in business and all, then you say that, don't worry, next year kama vilaisu, you know. We'll make up for it. Yeah, we'll make up for it. Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Okay, last question. Chalo. You're a billionaire. Knowing that these billionaires are giving, pledging 80%, 90% of their wealth to philanthropy. If you were a billionaire, would you do the same?
No, bro.
I'm saying pledge majority of your wealth. I'm not saying
what?
Charity. Obviously, you'll do charity.
For what?
Yeah.
Why will I pledge money to this corrupt world?
Yeah.
Look around. The money is going to be eaten by politicians.
Yeah.
Look at the government. The government is out to fuck you.
Yeah.
The government has already fucked you.
Yeah.
And you're going to pledge all your wealth to go into the hands of them?
Not government. Bill and Melinda. Chal.
What is
Gates
Bill and
Foundation?
Bro. See, bro. Firstly, na.
Would you give or no, Rahul?
I would not give.
Okay.
I would. Firstly, I am earning for my children. Okay, bro. My majority, Bill Gates and all, very modern thing. I might not be that modern.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm Indian.
Yeah.
Third world. I'm from a third world country. My thinking is backward. You know, give me the benefit of the doubt. My money is for my children. Right. Whatever I earn, I'm doing it for my children. Okay.
Fair enough.
Majority will go to my children, and then minority I will put. See, when you earn so much now, eventually what happens is you can buy everything in the world.
Yeah.
You can buy all the toys, you can buy private jets. But then I want to reach that phase in life now, bro, where I get maximum satisfaction by giving money to people.
And it happens.
It eventually
comes
indirectly
naturally.
happens.
But it should not be pressured.
Yes, it should not be pressured. Like I don't want Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation
call
calling
you.
me every day. I'll block their number.
Yeah. Okay. For example, Rahul and Associates, if they're calling the big business firm, you know, the conglomerate that it is holding multiple entities of businesses. So they call your assistant that can we get a phone call with a Zoom call with Mr. Rahul, and Bill sir and Melinda madam will be there on the Zoom call separately from their islands.
They better, na? If they're asking for billions, they better.
So would you be there?
See, bro, number one thing is that.
And obviously they would offer, they would put your name on some plaque or something.
See, bro, I'm not on my wealth just for Bill and Melinda's name to go up. Number one, don't put my money in your name. I will start my own foundation.
Very true. Very
Number one, nobody knows I have donated to Bill and Melinda Foundation because people will think that it's Bill and Melinda's money.
Yeah.
Na? Like today, they say that $50 billion has been distributed worldwide because of the Bill and Melinda Foundation. Now, whose name are people talking
Bill
about?
and Melinda.
But out of that $50 billion, are you understanding
There
the
must
amount
be
of billionaires
so
that
many
have contributed?
People. Yeah.
That's why one thing that I'm very against is that you start your own foundation.
And contributed billions. As in, even multiple billionaires come together.
Exactly.
Eventually, even if the contribution of other people is 1 billion, that's a lot.
But whose name is going up?
Yeah, Bill and Melinda.
So firstly, you start your own foundation. You don't put money into other people's foundation. If you get a call from Bill and Melinda,
So you not join the pledge?
fuck the pledge. Fuck the pledge, bro. You know, we don't fucking give a fuck about the pledge. Firstly, if you want to donate money, you donate through your own foundation.
Yes.
You make sure that your surname echoes around
not?
every fucking corridor in India.
Why not?
Like the Ambanis.
Yes.
We know about the Reliance Foundation, how much they do, how much they contribute. Today, if they were giving money, which they might have given money to the Bill and Melinda Gates
थोड़ा दोस्ती
Foundation.
में देना पड़ता है. शादी में
पर तू खुद का बनाना यार.
सही बात.
I think even Warren Buffett should have started his own foundation.
No, he was like, अभी मैं इधर स्टॉक मार्केट में ध्यान देता हूँ. ये ले लो ना तुम. मेरे को फर्क ही नहीं
I'm
पड़ता.
still thinking, plan ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro.
So I'm very, if you want to donate money, donate it through your own foundation, not through other people's foundation.
True that. And on that note, GLE.
We fucking gone.
Ciao, ciao.
Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Do it. Just do it, yeah. Just do it, yeah.